Welcome back, guys. In this edition of our tutorial, we are going to see how to make a model in Staad Pro using imported DXF file. So if you are just joining us for the first time, kindly hit the subscribe button, like and share our videos, and don't forget to click the notification icon so you get notifications for our subsequent videos. So as you can see on the screen, what we have is our center line diagram showing our grids and our columns position. So the first thing we're expected to do is to prepare our DXF file, and the Staad Pro only recognizes nodes, so we have to prepare our DXF file in a way that the Staad Pro will recognize what we are trying to tell it to do. So to begin with, we have to turn off our column layer. So to do that, click on this button, click it off, and the whole of the layer is gone. So we'll copy this, let's move it aside, so copy, move it, paste, then we can turn off our layer. It means we are not doing away with this completely. So like I stated earlier, I said Staad Pro works with node. So if we are to leave our DXF file with this various position, Staad Pro will assume that this point is another node, all the edges of this are not. So what we are supposed to do, we are supposed to trim off that part. So quickly, let's do that. So we say TR, shortcut for trim, we right click, so we trim off like this, we trim off, and finally we trim off. So this is how we are going to import our DXF file to Staad Pro. And to follow our usual way of preparing a DXF, we go to save as. Clicking on save as, we go to tools, we go to option, then we go to DXF, ensure your select object is selected, you say OK, then you come here and change the name, let's say Staad tutorial, select the file type, click on save, then it brings up select object. So we say we right click, we select either from left to right or from right to left, but if you are selecting from right to left, ensure everything is selected. So we have this, then you click on your enter button, and that is that. It will automatically save it. Let's see if it has saved it. So we have this, what's the name, we have Staad tutorial, so this is the file. So with that done, we can go back to our Staad Pro. The version of Staad Pro I'm using is the Staad Pro Connect edition. So to begin a project, you select your new, and this comes up, you enter the title of your project, let's call it tutorial 1, and you select the folder you want to save it as, then you select the unit you are comfortable with. So I'm going to be using metric, then you click on your create. So this comes up, this is how it looks the first time. So the next step you are expected to do is to import your DXF file. So to do that, you go to your file, you click on it, then you go to import/export, then you click on import DXF, then you select your DXF, which is Staad tutorial, you select it as this, so open, then you select DXF import Y up, you click on OK, then you select your units, and millimeter and kilonewton are the units we are going to be using, then you say OK. So you see it's already loading, so our project is loaded. So guys, after importing your DXF, this is what it looks like. So let's go back to geometry. On our geometry tab, you'll notice that there are only nodes at the end of our imported DXF. So to ensure that there are nodes at the right places, such as these places that are not showing nodes, we have columns, we have to select the whole drawing. After selecting it, we go to this, which is intersecting beam. We click on it, we click on intersect selected beams, we click and we click on OK. After that, you notice they say 28 new beams created. We say OK, and you notice that we now have our respective nodes in the right position. So the next thing to do is to quickly change our view. Let's have it to the left view like this, and to select our node, because we are supposed to create a height of 1500 coming from the foundation. So we select our node, and to select our node, we have to change our cursor. We go to right click, we select cursor, and we go to node selector, node cursors rather. We select the whole of our nodes. After selecting the node, go back to geometry, select translational repeat. So we click on that. We are going in the y direction, as you can see. So we say y direction, and our height is supposed to be 1500. So we say 1500. We are repeating. The number of steps is just going to be 1. So don't forget to always click on the link steps. So we click on our link step and we say okay, and you notice that the whole of this has been generated to the top. The knots that are at the bottom have been generated to the top. Let's quickly see that. Let's see how it looks in 3D, in isometric. We go to view, check isometric. So this is how it is, but you observe that what we have at the bottom is what we are supposed to have at the top. So to change that, we go back to our left view again, and we change our cursor. We right click, select cursor, we select beam cursor. So we select the whole of our beam, and we say what, Control C and Control V to paste. So we are pasting in the y direction. We select 1500 mm and we say okay, and you notice the whole of it has been copied, so we don't need the one that is at the bottom. So we select it and hit our delete button and we say okay, and the whole of it is gone. Let's look at it in isometric view. So we have it like this. So this is looking like what we want to model today in Staad Pro Connect edition. So we go back to our left view. Our floors, we are supposed to have 3 more floors coming on this. So to do that, we have to keep offsetting our plan because it's the same plan we are using today. So to do that, we have to select our node, and to select node in Staad Pro, you have to keep changing your cursor from beam cursor, node cursor, plate cursor, and the rest. So let's quickly change it. Right click, select node cursor, we select our node. I'll quickly be showing you something as we are going 2 steps in this occasion. So we'll go to geometry, we select translational repeat rather. So we select the y and we enter our 3500. It's going to be going 3500, and the number of steps this time around is going to be 2. You don't need to click the link steps, click on OK, and you can see you have your nodes in the position you want them, because the number of steps is 2 steps. That's why we have it in 2 places. So now we are going to link this model with our nodes. So to do that, hold down your control button, select the remaining nodes and click on connect beams. So click on the connect beams, select the y-axis to link everything. This comes up, 48 members are created. You click on OK and you have them like that. So the next thing we are supposed to offset up are our beams. So to do that, we have to change our cursor again. We right click, we select cursor, we say beam cursor. So we select the whole of the beam like this. After doing that, we'll go back to our translational repeat. We select our y. We are going to offset them in 3500 step spacing. So we go step is 2. So we have that. We say okay. So automatically it comes up like this. But we are supposed to have another steps going up, and that one is supposed to be around, let's say, 3200. So to do that, we change our cursor. We select node cursor. We select the whole of the node. We hit the Control C and we hit the Control V again. So this comes up. So we are going 3200. We enter our spacing, click on OK, and the nodes go up. Hold down your Control key, select the new nodes and go to connect beams. You click on connect beams, you select your y-axis, then you hit on connect. So you have connected this with this node. So now we need to also copy our beams to the top. So to do that, we change our cursor to beam cursor. We select the beam, we hit our Control C, Control V to paste, and we are going 3200 because that is our spacing this time around. We hit it and we have it like this. So let's quickly check our model in isometric view. Go to view, isometric view, and this is what we have. So the next thing we are supposed to do is to add our slabs. In Staad Pro, it is known as plates. So to do that, let's go back to our geometry. Let's go back to our view, rather our left view. So we have it like this. So we need to add our plates from this floor, and finally this floor. We are not going to the top. So to do that, we say we are already on beam cursor, so we just select it like this. So we hit our right click, we go to new view, and we tell it to create a new view. Check it. So we say okay. so it brings up this new view. So we enlarge it like this, maximize. After maximizing, we say we want it from the top view or the plan view, so we say we have it like this. So to make this tutorial simple, I'll just be drawing one plate for the whole of the floor. So I'll quickly go back to my geometry. So we click on our add plate, and to add plate you just select your node from one point to the next point, just the way I'm doing it, and finally this. So you have your plate in place, but you won't be able to see it now, but I believe you should be able to observe that there's a little bit change in color as you do that. So to go back and be able to identify it, let's close this window. So we have this, let's go back to our view and let's have it as isometric, and let's check it in 3D. So you see we have this plate, so we need to copy the plate to the other floors. So to do that, let's go back to our left view. We have it like this, or let's quickly close this, let's quickly select this, and let's have it like this. So let's go back to our left view like this. So there's a plate here, but to select that plate we have to change our cursor. So we right click, we select cursor, and we go back to plate cursor. So we select our plate. Staad Pro automatically selects only the plate because we are using plate cursor. So after doing that, we hit our Ctrl C if we want to do it one after the other, or we just go back to geometry and say translational repeat. We are going y direction, the repeat is twice, and we are going 3500. So we say okay. So automatically it copies the plate to the two floors. To see it, let's quickly go back to our view and go back to isometric. We're on isometric, so let's see it in 3D rendering. So we have it like this. So you see the two plates are in position. So that is how to add your plates and your floors in Staad Pro. The next thing we are going to do is to see how we are going to assign properties to our model. So to add properties to our model, let's quickly close this, go to geometry. So we go to the properties, analytical modeling properties. So we're on the properties tab. The size of our column is a 230 by 230 column. Our beam is 450 in depth, the width is 230 also, and the slab thickness is 150 mm. So we go to define. You see from this, let me close this and show you again. Define. So after clicking on define, is a rectangle section we are using, and there are 230 by 230, that is our column. So 230 by 230. So we click on add. Staad Pro automatically creates a rectangle 230 by 230 as a property, but our beam is a 450 by 230. So we also add that. So we close. That means we have our columns and we have our beams. So the next thing for us to do is to assign thickness to our plates, and the thickness of our plate, like I said earlier, is going to be 150. So we say thickness and we enter our 150. So automatically it updates for the 4 knots. So we say add. So automatically we have a plate of 150 mm. So to assign this plate to these properties, let's quickly change our view. Let's go to view and let's have left view. So I don't know which one to start with, but let's see. Let's start with the beam, since we already have our beam cursor. So let's quickly go back to this. So this is the beam that we created. So we select it first here on the properties window. After selecting it, we select all our beams like this. Let's see, this and this. So after selecting them, all we need to do is just come back here and say assign. After clicking assign, ensure that assign to selected beams is the button that is clicked. You say yes. After clicking yes, we escape. Let's see it in isometric to ensure that all beams have been drawn. You might not see it properly here, so the best thing is for you to check it in 3D rendering. So you see all the whole beams have been drawn. Let's see it fully. They've been assigned thickness rather. So let's see it. Let's see how it looks. I think the whole of the beams have been assigned thickness. So let's quickly go back now and do the same for the rest. So to do that, let's go back to our properties. So what's next for us to add? Let's see view. Let's take the left. The next for us to add is our column. So let's select the columns first, then we select our members. To select our members, always hold your control and you select everything like this, and finally this. Let's see, okay, selected. So we say what, we just hit our assign, and it asks us the assignment method you have chosen is to assign to selected beams. Do you want to proceed? You say yes. So after doing that, you observe that it has been assigned R1 all through. So for me to see that, let's change the view to isometric. Let's check 3D rendering. So you see automatically we have a section for our columns. So let's quickly go back and do for the plate, assign thickness for the plate. So we change our views and we have it like this. So let's select our plates, but to select plates we have to change our cursor, and first thing to do is to select your plates here, which is the number 3. Then you change your cursor by right clicking and select plate cursor. So after selecting your plate, hold down your control, select all the plates. So we have the whole of this like this. Then we'll come here and say assign to selected plate. We click on assign and we have yes. So let's go and see whether it has successfully assigned to the plate what we wanted, that is the thickness. So we say this. So let's zoom it so that we see it clearly. So we see everything is in order. So quickly, that is how to assign your properties to your model, and I think that brings us to the end of this tutorial. But before we go, let me quickly show you how to change some of the light colors. So you right click, you select light, you can change it to red, let's say red light. So you have this. You can also change the rendering light to, let's say, yellow. You have this, and so on and so forth. Cyan is the normal one. You can change it to orange, and you have these colors. So with that, we've come to the end of this tutorial, that is modeling of a structure using an imported DXL file into Staad Pro Connect Edition. If you've enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to click the subscribe button, like and share our videos, and most importantly, click the notification icon so that you get notifications for subsequent tutorials. This is Einstein Ages. Cheers, see you.